So, okay, let me just skip that for a little bit. I think I was watching something, so don't mind my distraction. Yeah, like I was gonna touch on a touchy subject, and it's quite fresh on my mind, or it was fresh at the time when I was thinking about making this video, and for some reason it crossed my mind, and I just remembered how I felt at the time when I was in the midst of everything. My story starts back into 2019, the end of 2019. I think it was around the 9th. Let's just keep it saying until the 12th of December 2019. I planned out my holiday. I was on my way to South Africa and Zambia. And before the Zambian trip, that is something else. So I'm only going to touch on the South African trip itself. I went to South Africa around the same time the xenophobia attacks kind of reduced or stopped or came to an end, for better lack of word to say, obviously because I was in the industry, so I wasn't fully aware of what was happening. But during that period on when all of that was happening, that is a month after all the horrible stuff reduced, that is when I planned my holiday because I've got family in South Africa. So I was like, okay, yo, I'm gonna see my family in South Africa. And I remember how I felt at the back of my mind. I was really scared. I was shitting myself. And I was second guessing myself. Like, why am I proceeding on to this holiday, and why do I continue on with this with this journey? Like, I should stay back and sit back and just try and fight through the snow and the cold. But you know, when you promise yourself and there's something else that you wanted to do at the end of the day, because I'm one of those people, I always want to see through something else, something I plan or something I put my mind to, and it was something I was willing to see through. So like I went through this period of convincing myself that it's gonna be all right, it's gonna be okay, but meanwhile the harsh reality of everything else that was happening was showing otherwise. And the phone calls I was receiving from everybody else were talking about how I need to get a shank, be strapped up just in case one of these South African people jump me in the streets, and I can at least fight my way or take some with me down as I was going. Obviously, because it was this horrible phase. It was me laughing about is not making light of everybody else that was affected by all of this, but it was just the reality of what I was going through, and it's the only way I could express myself, by kind of like talking about certain things that crossed my mind and how they made me feel. So this video is not to mock all those experiences of how people, it was a horrible time, and I do not condone those such actions. So I got on the plane. So on the 9th of December, I got on that plane, and at the back of my mind, I was like, shoot, I should not continue with this flight. I need to stop. I need to stop. But obviously, and then I got to realize that, okay, I was reassured that all of that shit was happening somewhere else, and it wasn't happening anywhere near where my family lives and stuff like that. And it was really, as much as I was reassured that that was not there, at the back of my mind I was thinking, I'm like, with the videos I saw online, I was thinking, my God. It got to a point where like something just switches in your head from convincing yourself a self-fulfilling prophecy and lying to yourself. Something switches in your head, and my crazy side just came out. I'm like, if I die today, I die today. That's how I was meant to go out. It was planned for me to go out like this, and I was going through with that philosophy of saying shit's gonna happen anyway if it was meant to happen. But then I realized while I was on holiday, I forgot to enjoy myself because I was so fixated on that idea that some shit was gonna go wrong somewhere, to the point where I actually forgot to start appreciating every single moment that was happening. Because compared to the holiday I had the previous year, where I explored the whole of South Africa, like went to different places, and the holiday I had last year, and the new experience I found myself in, I found myself locked up in the house. So tell me why the fuck I spent over £700 to go and find myself locked up in the house, because I'm scared of what another motherfucker would do to me when I step out of their house. So that at the back of my mind, I'm thinking, shit, this is a shithole. I'm never coming back here again. But obviously, at the end of the day, you've got family there, so it's all chilled. So I'm like, I think a week into the whole thing, I started kind of like shedding off that fear a little bit off my back, and I started just enjoying every moment as it was. I met some interesting people. I linked up with one of my friends from college. We had an amazing night. If I can plug the video here, I'll plug the video here. But I don't know if it's gonna be one of those videos. But if it's gonna be one of those videos, yeah. Until then, yeah. I'll try, but yeah, I had one of those fantastic nights, and one of my friends as well that lives in South Africa, who I met on my previous, I think it was 2018, who I met in 2018, was a birthday as well. So she invited me to that. I pulled through. It was amazing, and just the whole experience. I'm like, the moral of the story of what I'm trying to get to on top of the holiday I had is like, don't be into your head for too long or too much, because you end up missing what is happening in front of you because you're so focused on the negative or something going wrong. You end up losing out on the perfect moments that could be or should be or would be if you just got out of your head and just experience each day that came by. I'm like, shit is gonna go wrong regardless of what's gonna happen. And at the end of the day, you just have to live in the moment. But not to be saying, not to say you should be reckless, but just appreciate the little things that are there. Whatever you can control, and whatever you can't control, you can't control. But fear is real, but you shouldn't let it dictate your actions and stuff like that. And learning from that, it was a wonderful experience and wonderful realization. Here I am in the middle, or in the city, where all this shit is just kind of like a falling apart, where human life is, where nobody has got any there's no disregard for human life, if that is the right word I use in that point. But obviously, if it wasn't, then you just keep it moving, eh? Where people don't have any disregard for human life, and they're just taking it away like it's nothing, under the premise of saying somebody came and took my job, come and took my opportunity and stuff like that. I'm like, yes, that shit might have hold merit, but not to the extent of killing somebody for it. Yeah, until I stopped living in my head, I started experiencing everything, and I'm like, I enjoyed. Like, I went to a new city, to a new destination altogether. For the first time, I was in Brixton. As much as many stories people say, oh, you Brixton is scary and stuff like that, I've been to Brixton. I enjoyed that place very much, and the whole experience and everything else that was happening. I encountered police for the first time in South Africa, which was an interesting scenario for every person or every foreigner that has interacted with police. It's a scary moment, especially if you don't have your documents on you. Yeah, you saying, oh yeah, I'm on holiday, I came to see my family and stuff like that, that just lands you in more trouble, or doesn't go very well with you. You get me? If you sound foreign as well, definitely they'll try and get into your pocket. So sometimes you just have to kind of like shut your mouth and let the universe kind of like sort itself out. But in most cases, most people won't be as lucky as I was. But if you get to find yourself in that opportunity, or not opportunity, I wouldn't call it an opportunity. If you kind of find yourself in such a situation, run. Okay, that was bad advice. Try and keep your mouth shut. And better yet, if you're coming from the Western world, we've got certain privileges where you can talk back to the police and be like, hey, why you arresting me? Da 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 da. Why you talking to me like that? Certain shit like that do not fly over that side. Where's that? You start hearing slaps left, right, center, and you start thinking this person has got 6 arms or 16 limbs, or whatever you want to call them. You won't even know where they're coming from. Police brutality over there is not a thing, but just a thing they throw out there. Hey, so be careful. All I'm saying, if you're going to all these places, just be careful and just enjoy yourself. And if you're going on holiday to places where they've told you to say, oh, this place might have a reputation for this type of behavior, or for this type of tendencies, or for a culture of certain things, I'm like, that is all around us. That is always going to be there. And it all depends on how you navigate through the surroundings. And just make sure you're not in the middle of all of that. Trying to stay out of the lanes and try be respectful of everywhere you go and understand like there's certain shit you can do wherever you're from and there's certain shit you can't do where you're from. Like it's pretty much that. Don't let negatives hinder you from experiencing a different culture, experiencing a different place altogether. Just be open minded and don't live inside your head for too long because you might end up missing an opportunity. I'm like, as much as I was complaining at the beginning and saying, "Oh, I must have wasted my 700 pounds," I'm like, yeah, I would have wasted that if I stayed indoors the whole time. You hear me? But the fact that I took steps in trying to go out and experience life as a whole, kind of like put things into perspective, and I stopped worrying about how all the finances and all of that, and I just lived in the moment. I enjoyed myself. I was busy with my nieces and nephews, and I was happy doing whatever I was doing. Like it was a break that I needed, and that place happened to provide it. I'm like, as much as all that chaos happened or was still happening, I'm like, I found myself. I created a little world for myself where all of that was not in the way of everything I wanted from this experience. Do I think I wanted it could have gone better? Yes, it could have gone better because the places I wanted to go to were in between the places I wanted to be in, obviously, because obviously, let's say for example, like a roadblock in the road, that's where all the chaos is happening, and where I want to be is over the other side. And in order for me to get over that side, I have to get through this roadblock. So it's kind of like, do I want to go through there or should I just wait and stuff like that? So that was going through my mind at the end of the day. So even though I was navigating through those areas, at the back of my mind, I was like, yo, I need to be careful because some of us, and stuff like that. So I don't know if you got what I was trying to get to, the point I was trying to get to in this message, but I'm just saying if you're gonna go somewhere, just go wholeheartedly and just try and stay away from all that negative stuff and don't let the negative detect how your holiday should go and should be, and just have fun at the end of it. And there's more stories I'm gonna tell you about. I'm still learning how to tell stories, but yeah, there's more stories I'm gonna tell you. Yeah, as we go out.